Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Coming to you live from the outskirts of the internet. This is the Gaming Saloon for October 17th, 2020, with your host, Peaceworker244H, and Rampant Epsilon.
Hi.
We have not that interesting batch of news, more or less.
Yeah, not really.
It's release season, not new season. Right now is when everything comes out, and we'd be talking about new releases if we did that stuff, and we don't. So we're short on news.
And you know, if there was really a extensive list of new releases, there's kind of not right now.
Yeah, I think we're getting them few and far between at the moment.
And before anyone's like, well, duh, it's because of the situation of the world. No, I'm kind of feeling like we still didn't have a big draw going into this console season either because of the switchover.
Yeah.
I mean, we had Nintendo kind of holding back to see what Microsoft and Sony did, and I think in return that kind of backlashed on them because of 2020. And the other two, I don't think ever really had anything solid going forward, and it was a case of, yeah, this became a dumpster fire really quick, and just kind of got compounded because of this year. Because let's be honest, I think Microsoft's side of things, Infinite was really their big selling point. And it got pushed back, presumably because of all of this.
Yeah.
It's one of those, it's like, yeah. No one really had anything planned going forward to begin with.
Well, I do have an extra bit of news I didn't have an article for, mainly because it just came out so late. But it's not really super whole lot. So, ahead of Crown Tundra's release next week, they had, I guess on one of the morning shows in Japan, some demo gameplay of Crown Tundra and some additional information about the Dynamax adventures for the Legendaries. We've got mostly good news coming out of that one. And Cerebee's cataloged this, so I'm just on their front page getting this information. So they've revealed that the catch rates on the Legendaries is 100%, so you're guaranteed to catch the Legendary when you beat it. No bullshit there. Thank God. On the other hand, you can only catch one of each Legendary.
Which makes sense.
Yeah. So you more or less have a finite amount of Dynamax Adventures for Legendaries, because I don't know if there's non-Legendary Dynamax Adventures. Because I don't think they've confirmed that or not. Let's see. There are 3 Dynamax Pokemon you have to go through before you get to the Legendary. There are healing items and recovery items along the way, since your health and PP are going to carry over between the different fights. So you're not healed after every fight.
Again, makes sense.
And that was pretty much it. And we have the Kalos Pikachu code up. I need to get the ones I haven't gotten yet. Granted, they all don't run out till like the end of next month, so there is no rush. But yeah, good news for the most part with Crown Tundra for the Dynamax Adventures, which is nice that they're just going, we're going to get you you'll get the Legendaries if you beat them, which I know the only tricky part's going to be that we have rentals for this. That's the only thing that's going to make it harder. Because if you could use your own Pokemon, I think like 90% of people would be able to blaze through most of them.
I feel like that's not going to make it harder, though. And the only reason I kind of lean towards that is because at that point, that means they've essentially curated them to the point where basically you need those Pokemon. But I can't really see that being one of those that's going to backfire. Right.
Well, I wonder what the pool for the rentals is. If it's like a specific curated list for a Dynamax, for a specific Dynamax adventure, or if it's just a pool in general that you pull from. Or if it's just...
If I had to guess, I would have to think it'd probably be more along the lines of it's a pool for potential Pokemon that could be in that adventure. because I can't foresee them just being like, okay, you've got this massive list, and you've just got to hope that you can lucky guess.
Pretty much Pokemon Stadium, where it's just like, here's a rental version of every single Pokemon. Have fun.
I can't see them doing something like that. But at the same time, I can't see them being like, you really want this one.
Yeah.
You know, wink, wink. You need this one.
Mm-hmm. I can't wait for there's a meta to be developed about the rentals, because there's a stupid meta about the Pokemon Stadium rentals where you don't get final evolutions, you get the mid-tier ones and the first tier ones, because those are the ones with all the good moves. All the like third tiers and your like final evolutions, they've all got the shit moves. They're all terrible.
I can see that. And I'm also willing to bet anyone that probably utilizes rental teams in terms of the competitive side of it probably already knows that.
Yeah.
Because I'd venture to say it's going to be similar kind of setups.
Mm-hmm. That comes out on the 22nd, so that is... What's that? Oh, Thursday. Oh, hey, the day I stream! And I'm not doing that because I want to get Path of Radianton wrapped up to some degree.
Oh. See,
I'm gonna take a...
the problem with this is I know I'm off that day.
Uh-huh.
So it's not so much that I'm more worried about if you could avoid it for us to do it Friday. It's more that I'm worried if I can avoid it to do it for us to do it Friday.
If you can wait one day for us to do it together.
It's one of those kind of concepts where I'm like, yeah.
Yeah.
Granted, I mean, we also I have to think close to finishing Luigi's Mansion.
Yeah, we probably have because I think we have one more area and we're done. Because we're up to the attic, and the attic I think is just one area, and that eventually gets you to the basement so you can fight King Boo. His Bowser cosplay. Because that's just what it is. He's got a Bowser costume.
And there's not really any other good options for that, because I was trying to think. I mean, I guess we could...
I was about to say, you don't want to wait 2 days on that for Saturday, do you?
Nope.
I didn't think so.
Because one of the two of us will break by then.
Yeah, especially because it being Saturday. It's just I've had a week of work. I want to fucking play video games. Look, Crown Tundra is available. Let's play video games.
Unless we push Luigi's Mansion to Saturday.
I mean, we can. It's not a big deal.
That might be what we do. I might, if I just want to mess around with it. I do have a second account just to see if it'll let me. Because is there a level cap, or will it kind of scale to a point?
That I don't know. I assume it would act just like the other DLC in that respect.
Because if it does, I can mess around on the other account, and then the only thing would be I would know a little bit. Ooh, wow. Anyone that watches gameplay would know a little bit too.
I mean, I can do that too, because I also have my Japanese account set up. I could just play the DLC on that one. I think, can you?
I know you can the first one. You literally just have to make it to the train station in the first town there, and then you can actually go ahead and do that then.
Yeah, because it would be in that same. It'd be the same thing. So
yeah, it just scales it.
Mm-hmm.
That's one of those. I don't think they've ever said if you can actually do that with Crown Tundra or not.
Yeah.
I know Isle of Armor you can though.
Mm-hmm. Guess we'll wait and see. If not, we might be swapping things around that night, just being like, "All right, doing this tonight. We're gonna do like a couple hours of this, and just do more Friday." Because if push comes to shove, it's just like, well, Brady and Don's taking a break because like we're almost done with part 3. I think yeah. Right, I'm on a fucking defense chapter again. So that's like 40 minutes of sitting around waiting, because the problem right now with the defense chapter I'm on is the Dawn Brigade and stuff are on the other side of the map. And I think if you kill them, they're actually permanently dead. That counts as permadeath on them. So I pretty much don't advance forward. I pretty much just wait out the clock. Like, I can go out far enough to like get the rest of the enemies to come forward and come after me, but like otherwise I'm pretty much just staying put for like a good solid 40 minutes. And I'm just like, oh god, that's gonna be so boring. Why is there so many defense chapters in this part?
Also, to be fair, you've also got to play around the fact of, you know, anyone that tries to attack you, you're kind of still killing them.
Well, to be fair, the other playable characters would be at the same level as I am in this instance.
Okay, so it balances itself out then, maybe?
I would think so. I'm going to assume so.
That might be something to test before you stream.
I pretty much have to send like one person forward until like they're right there next to someone to see if I could pull them, because I don't even know what their range to the pull would be at this point, if it would be their actual range.
Because now that I'm thinking about that, that might actually be something good to kind of, you know going into it. Because if it is the case of you still just completely annihilate them too, then that might be a whole nother issue you might run into.
No, because I think they are the same. No, they are the exact same stats I have them at from the last chapter I controlled them, which was the last chapter before this one. Because when I recruited units, they were at where they're supposed to be if they were a part of my party to start with.
Okay.
So they don't have dummy stats they get when they come in NPCs. No, they have their normal stats and their normal levels that they would have had if you were controlling them. They're just over there now wanting to kick your ass.
I didn't know if maybe it was a case of, you know, some games like doing that, and then afterwards it's like, oh, what are you talking about? We had the same stats you always had.
No. Yeah. I don't think Fire Emblem Showdown is the way to be able to do that. I think it's just a case of, like, this character has the stats and that's it. And
I mean, that's probably for the better.
Yeah. Well, anywho, before we get into the news, Tommy, you been playing anything interesting in the last couple of weeks?
Not outside of what I've streamed.
Oh. I finally beaten Persona 5R. Finally. Got through third semester and the new final dungeon and the final boss and stuff. And I accidentally platinumed it because I didn't realize I was that close to platinuming it. That when I just beat the game, I got the platinum trophy on that. So that's technically my second ever platinum, I think. Because I don't think I platinumed anything on PS3. I don't think. But the problem is, for me now, is I'm technically not 100% of the game, because the compendium is at 99%. I would still need the Fuse Saturnile, which is a New Game Plus only fusion, as usual. Technically, I also would have to buy a DLC to get Joker's third persona. Because for whatever stupid reason, they put it as DLC instead of just in the game normally.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's incredibly stupid. The other stupid part is that Kasumi, your new party member you get for third semester, and more or less the final dungeon, all of her costumes are DLC. Which incredibly blows. When you can only use her in third semester, in more or less that final dungeon and whatever runs in mementos you do. That's it. Even though she is introduced earlier in the game, before like the original final boss and like final couple dungeons there, she's introduced and has her abilities. The game just decides, no, she's not going to be a part of this because plot. And we're trying to preserve as much of the original Persona 5 story, so she's not here for any of it, and we're writing her off of it, out of all of it. And I go, fuck you, I want her for the rest of the game, damn it. At this point. Fuck you too, then. So yeah, I didn't bother getting her costumes, even though I wanted. I think it's the Shadow Operative one, because that's the one I use all the time for everyone else. Honestly, I think that's like my big complaint with Royal, is that you just don't get to use Kasumi more, even though she's in the plot sooner than third semester. Because otherwise, third semester is like fine. It's extra time for you to round out social links if you want, or round out any other like any other stuff you wanted to round out and like do before the game ends. And then you have this last dungeon, which it's a fine enough dungeon. It's got a weird, complicated like color code bridge puzzle that takes a little bit to like figure out what the fuck to do. It's one of those times where if you pull up a guide for this, no one's going to blame you because it is a bit complicated. Because it works off color wheel.
Huh.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's that. There's a bunch of challenges and stuff in what's called the Thieves' Den, which is essentially your like visual representation of your achievements in the game. And the problem with that is that in the Thieves' Den, there is again the game's own internal achievements, and one of those has you do either the friendship path for all of the female social links, or the romance path for all the social links. Good news is those achievements are track across saves, so you don't have to do it in one save file. But that is still a big hassle to go through to do all of those.
I can understand on that one.
Thankfully, it will proc as soon as you start the route, as soon as you like initiate it, so you don't have to like go through like the last like 2 ranks of any of those social links to like round out that achievement. But still, it's a lot of save scumming to get that all cleaned up. And then I think another one is beating the Reaper 5 times, which is a secret boss of the game. Pretty much, if you go around mementos and if you stick around on the floor too long, the Reaper will come out and say, either go to the next floor or kick my ass, and also he's stupidly strong. Pretty much, if you're not like fairly high leveled and fairly well equipped, he will murder you in one shot. Granted, there was an exploit in the original Persona 5 where if you went into mementos with a certain weather condition on, Reaper would be inflicted with despair, which is essentially a doom counter. So you would just wait out 2 turns and then the Reaper would explode. And you would get all the experience as if you actually beat him. Guess how I got to level 99 very quickly in Persona 5. I pretty much went into mementos, when despair would be inflicted on Reaper, because normally that shouldn't happen. He should not be able to have despair inflicted upon him. But because he's in Mementos, and this is a day when that can happen, oh no, he's got despair. Granted, sometimes he won't when you encounter him, but you can back out of the fight and then refight him, and it will probably be back on him. And also, the great part of this Doom counter is that he won't attack while it's inflicted. It's essentially you fast-forwarding through two turns of him probably doing nothing and then exploding. But I believe they fixed that for Persona 5 Royal, so you can't do that. But I have Satan as a Persona now, literal Satan, that is level 99. Has a like wide, like just about max damage or max damage level Almighty spell, which is like the strongest element in the game because nothing is weak to it, and it bypasses all defenses. And it costs me no SP, no mana at all for me to drop that. And that Persona, every time it's my turn, every time it's the start of my turn, I regen health and mana. And that is one of several Personas I have that I pretty much can probably solo Reaper if I wanted to. But yeah, it's like there's that achievement, and there's like a couple more for the other like secret bosses for New Game Plus. There's a bunch of other like school life, daily life stuff to like round out that would just take time. It more or less would mean I pretty much have to go through the game again and just like check off a whole bunch of stuff as I go through. And I'm just not in the mood to do that. I kind of want to do it just to round out all the material, but I don't know. Maybe when I'm not working like 8 hours a day. Having to deal with people 8 hours a day. I guess. Or also because I've already done like... This would technically be my 4th playthrough of Persona 5 in general. And I just... I'm good. Because all you get out of that at that point with the Thieves' Den is just unlocking like more songs to play there, more like videos and stuff to look at, some concept art, maybe some stuff to decorate the Thieves' Den with. It's at that point you're just doing it for yourself, and I'm not in the mood for that. I don't need that.
I can understand that. I mean, that is the downside to 100%ing some games.
Yeah, it's one of those... Granted, I knew what Gerard meant when he was talking about on his completionist episode of Persona 5 of just reaching the point of, I don't want to do some of this stuff anymore. Because I told you how he considered completing Persona 5 as getting all of the like Mass X-Link like little goodies and stuff you get on like Valentine's Day and stuff, and that is like literally the last things you do in that game. So you'd have to go through the entire game again and again and again to get that kind of stuff. Like he was planning to do 11 playthroughs of the game, complete playthroughs, to get those little items that do absolutely nothing.
Yeah, unfortunately, I feel like, and I have to wonder if maybe all Persona games are kind of maybe not to that extreme, but I feel like they all might have issues if you go for 100% completion, because of, yeah.
Well, the thing is, because he asked this on Twitter, and I didn't ever see the poll. So I didn't know about this until I saw the video and he talked about it. But he did a poll where he asked, like, what do you consider 100% completion of Persona 5? And most people pretty much went, max S-Links, just max S-Links in general, regardless of friendship or romantic route. Like, 100% the compendium and, like, the achievements. Or, like, the trophies. That's it. Like, not any of these little items and all this other, like, ancillary stuff. Like, that's not 100% for most people who play Persona. And I can agree with that. Like, honestly, at that point, you're not getting any new content out of the game. You're just doing the same content over and over again. Like, whoever you romance in a Persona game is whoever you romance in Persona game. That's not a completion thing. That's just a personal, like, that's my save file, like, detail, more or less.
Yeah, it's one of those, when it comes to stuff like that, that's where you got to draw that line of, is this really going to do anything, or is this just going to be more like bragging rights?
Yeah, Gerard had to do that again for Crash 4, because he put out the episode today. He talked about how he did the platinum, what was it? The platinum, like, time trial artifacts. He did those, and then he saw that there were Toys for Bob's ones that were more or less developer speed times, and you pretty much have to speed run the game to get those kind of times.
Yeah,
and he just wasn't up for them. He wasn't up for grinding out the game for months to get those times.
But if I'm not mistaken, now I don't know, I've not actually watched enough to quite understand how it's set up for Crash 4, but I know for, like, Crash 3, there is a reason why the full game completion is not 100% category. And that's because technically, if I'm not mistaken, as far as NST goes, both 2 and 3, the gold relics are considered beating the time trial relics. The platinum is more of bragging rights that adds the additional percentages.
I believe the platinums are a part of the 106% of the game, but not the Toys for Bob artifact.
Yeah, I know that. I know the dev times are not.
Yeah. The platinums are a part of the 106% completion on the game.
So then, technically speaking, he probably could get away with not even doing the plats?
Well, he did all the plats, so...
I'm just saying, I mean, if his goal is 100% of the game, then technically you can avoid that?
Well, he 106%ed it, because you do get a cutscene for 106%. That may or may not be a tease for a Crash 5.
Probably is.
Yeah. Toys for Bob have went from developing all of those Skylanders games to, here's some actual real video games now. We've got Skylanders money to fund us forever.
Well, I think it's because they proved the fact that, you know, you don't have to keep beating a dead horse to get good product.
That's why we revived a couple dead horses.
Well, not really revived. I wouldn't be surprised if we don't see a new Spyro game come out before too long. Just gonna say. And Crash 4, while it does feel, from at least the viewer standpoint, while it does feel like it's on par with the NST trilogy, I also feel like it sets itself out too because some of the levels are longer.
And it has 5 playable characters in total? Yeah, it's 5, because you have Crash and Coco. You have an alternate universe version of Crash's girlfriend. I can't think of her name at the moment.
Tana.
That's her name. You have Gator Guy.
Yep, Dingo Dow.
Yep, and you have Cortex. And then, like, Crash and Coco have, like, I think, like, 25 costumes apiece. Like, they have a ridiculous amount of costumes apiece, and all of them are cutscene compatible. So, you can pretty much, like, have whatever shenanigans you want in the cutscenes. Including, I think, like, PS1 model Crash is one of the costumes. and I don't know if it was Gerard in the video doing it in the video or if it was the level itself, but I think there's a level that plays on the "Whoa" meme from a while back.
I mean, probably a combination of the two.
Mm-hmm. Also, just to say it, there's a lot of Spyro references in the game. Here is a purple dragon-looking thing in the background. I don't know if they're saying like, we'll do Spyro next, or if they're just going, yeah, we also did that too. Here's us sneaking all this stuff in because we can. And also because, Spyro was Insomniacs, Crash was Naughty Dogs. They have this long-standing relationship, so we might as well do all of this because that's what they did too. So it's incredibly accurate for them to keep doing it.
I feel like it's almost, though, the subtle nod to be like, yeah, that's in the works.
Mm-hmm.
Because, case in point, we did wind up getting almost back-to-back the Crash and Spyro trilogies.
Mm-hmm.
It's one of those that wouldn't surprise me.
Well, it's nice because, Insomniac and Naughty Dog used to do that stuff all the time in each other's games, and still do that. So, it's nice of them to keep the tradition going of winks and nods to each other. Just now it's all in the same company.
Instead of being separated.
Only by, a door, because I think they were next door to each other for the longest time. I think that was the story. Was back in the Ratchet and Clank Jak and Daxter days, the two studios were quite literally next door to each other.
I am, in terms of Crash 4, kind of interested if they're going to decide to try to give it the full Insane Trilogy treatment and us get delayed releases on PC and Switch.
That'd be nice.
At the very least, PC.
Mm-hmm.
I can maybe understand if Switch couldn't handle it for whatever reason.
Mm-hmm.
It looks like it could because it does look like they're pretty much using the Insane Trilogy engine to do this, but yeah.
Mm-hmm. Anywho, I don't really have anything else. I'm level 35 in Super Mario 35, and I think I might just leave it there. Although, on Game Explain at the moment, they have a stupid game where I think Andre had 12 million Lakitus thrown at him at the same time. It was a stupid amount of Lakitus. A stupid amount of Lakitus.
I got to where I kept getting frustrated with myself for making stupid moves, so I've kind of walked away from it for a little while.
Mm-hmm.
Because that tends to happen. When I start realizing I'm doing stupid and I start getting a little aggravated at myself, I'm like, yep, I need to quit playing for a little while.
Yeah. I would like access to more levels. Because I did start one game the other day on 1-2 instead of 1-1 for once. Which was nice.
That's what's got me so confused. Is that a vote? Is that a dumping it into a pool? Explanation would be nice.
I would like more levels, and I would like access to specifically 8-4 so I can pick 8-4 and be like, fuck you, beat the game.
Well,
beat the last level of the game.
To be fair, the only way to do that is to literally beat the game.
Yeah. I just want to be the one asshole who always picks a castle level and makes you play a castle level regardless.
I almost have to wonder if that level selected at the beginning isn't a combination of the two, though.
Mm-hmm.
Especially if you said you got 1-2. Did you keep getting 1-2 a lot? In that match?
I think I got out of that one, or I got knocked out early, so I'm not sure.
Because that would be one of those that would be my question. Like, if you just went straight, not trying to do the warp loop kind of deal.
Yeah.
Because I know at a certain point, a lot of the matches I kept getting would keep progressing with different levels, but then every so often I'd get slung right back to 1-1, and I'm like, ah.
Yeah. Oh, suggestion for a special battle then. All the 4 levels, all in a row. You have to beat all the castle levels, back to back to back.
People probably hate you right now.
Look, I want fun, stupid things in this video game, and that is a fun, stupid thing of just, hey, beat all the castle levels, and that way you just have 12 million Bowsers in front of you.
If they were planning on keeping this long term and it not just being till the end of March kind of deal, I would super be like, you know what would be kind of neat to throw in there at some point? SMB 3 levels.
Honestly, anything extra Mario is probably welcomed in terms of the 2D stuff.
Well, I feel like SMB 3 would be the easiest because the engine didn't change a whole lot between them. Yeah. And I would have to think that would be easier to implement because it would be a lot of doing new enemy sprites as well as doing new Mario sprites. And that would probably work out relatively easy with the way it's set up. Granted, I don't know how the control engine on it would work with it because I can't remember where I saw it, but the Super Mario 35 is not actually emulation. It is completely remade on its own. So it's like, I don't know how well that would work with their stuff.
Shall we get to the news?
I guess we shall.
Alright, first up, Avengers! So, about that Kate Bishop DLC.
About that everything.
Yeah. Pretty much Kate Bishop, Hawkeye, Spider-Man, pretty much all the DLC is going to be on the back burner until I think it's going to end up being next year. As they attempt to get the game back up and running.
You know, not broken.
Running in a good state. So no Kate Bishop, no Hawkeye, no Spider-Man, no real new content, really. Just your current content.
It's almost as if they should have done a beta test earlier and realized how busted this game actually is and how much it runs like crap, even though it says that it should run right.
But players are getting an apology bundle. 1,500 credits, 7,000 units, 250 upgrade modules, nameplate, and 20 DNA keys to compensate for the "we fucked up."
I'll give them credit for trying to fix it and trying to even be like, yeah, we screwed up, here, take stuff.
Yeah. I will say, because the news has made the rounds of like Avengers like low player count on Steam of it being like 1,000 and under, I think. It was like is under 4 digits, I think. On its player base.
Doesn't really surprise me.
Yeah.
Because most of the people that like the game, I feel like, are liking it for the wrong reasons. and not really taking into account the fact that, you know, the game is really kind of lacking.
Mm-hmm. Like most live service games when they first launch.
Yeah. Because Destiny's a good example of that one, too.
Yeah.
It had a good base, but it had no way of making it a good game.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, I know the news made it around. Everyone's like, "Oh no, Avengers is dying," and all this and that and the other. And it just weirdly, it reminded me of a video done by, I think it was Reykjavik, who does video essays on YouTube for video games, and he did one about this exact issue with like player bases with like multiplayer games, and he pointed out that it's not as big of a deal as you think. And that sometimes smaller player bases are actually really good. And games can survive on those smaller player bases. Granted, I don't think...
You're right on that, but at the same time, I don't think a game like this can.
Yeah, Avengers is not going to be able to survive on a smaller, on a small player base. But, like, if it was like, I don't know, like not a Halo, like an older like FPS or something like that, yeah, it would, because like everyone would stick around.
It's one of those. It's like something as mainstream as this. Seeing those low numbers, I hope they realize that they've messed up, kind of deal. I hope this isn't just we're going to say we're fixing stuff to get people back, but we're actually not fixing anything.
Mm-hmm.
Because if it's that, then yeah, the game's done. I mean, and I don't want to be the one to be like, yeah, the game sucks. But from what they gave us in that beta, it was not ready to go out. I mean, from a technical end of it, my computer should have been able to have ran at minimum specs, and it was struggling. So that tells me that there was something wrong. On top of that, you and me both kind of just felt meh on the story.
Yeah.
And I feel like that should have been the point where they should have kind of pulled out the stops, and even if it was just that tutorial area, making it wow the player, and then it kind of went meh from there. That initial feeling of the game was what needed to be that hook, and it just wasn't there. At least for me. I mean... I see its potential. I really do. I don't know if it'll hit it.
Yeah. Well, speaking of not great things, you remember how the guy who did all the Resident Evil movies is doing a Monster Hunter movie?
The title itself for this article says a lot.
Yeah, it kind of does, because I've seen this trailer. I've also seen the international trailer, which is a better looking trailer than this one, but you can still see where this reeks of we're slapping Monster Hunter and a bunch of images and stuff related to Monster Hunter on this, but this is not a Monster Hunter movie in the way most people want a Monster Hunter movie, to be honest. So, pretty much, do you want the premise of the movie?
Sure, why not?
So, Mila Jovovich is in charge of this squad of soldiers that are looking for a lost squad of soldiers in this area, where these weird rocks with totally not the Monster Hunter language on them, and a storm hits, and they get pulled in to more or less the world of Monster Hunter, and then they have to figure out how to fight the monsters because guns don't work mostly, I guess, on these monsters, even though I'm pretty sure, Monster Hunter has guns in certain ways.
I'm pretty sure gun probably would be just about anything else.
I'm also pretty sure we have guns in Monster Hunter. They're not, like, normal guns, but they are still guns. Anyway, they have to learn how to fight the monsters from this one guy who is one of the, I guess, hunters, and also lady who is the what is her name? She's your companion in Monster Hunter World, and like she's your go-to person for all your quests and stuff when you're getting those. They have someone playing her in the trailer, but she's only in there for like 2 seconds. So I guess she's probably not in it that much. Maybe. Which is a shame, because she really looks like her from the game. But yeah, that's pretty much the gist of the trailer. Or the gist of the movie. Are you excited?
This trailer feels like they wanted to do a whole different movie.
Yeah. Because it's like, oh look, monsters! Oh look, them using the weapons and doing the things with the weapons! Isn't that what you want?
It's almost like they found someone that was in the middle of doing some kind of action movie and was like, you're changing this to Monster Hunter.
Yeah.
Like, this feels halfway thought through.
Yeah.
And not the good kind of halfway thought through.
Mm-hmm. I just don't get why we need to do this whole transport it into the world of the video game instead of just doing the story in the video game. Like, fantasy isn't that complicated. Monster Hunter is not as complicated as something like Lord of the Rings. And we just drop you in the world of Lord of the Rings and we just explain stuff to you and we just do the movie. Like, we don't need to get complicated here.
Yeah, but explaining's hard. If we just say they got dropped into that world, then you know what it is, right?
Honestly, if you wanted to make a Monster Hunter movie, just make a Monster Hunter movie where you have newbie hunter, veteran hunter. Veteran hunter teaches newbie how to fight monsters. You go hunt monsters. You have big monster that is big villain, and you go beat big villain at the end. That's it. You don't need to complicate a Monster Hunter story because Monster Hunters stories aren't that complicated to start with. Because that's literally most of the Monster Hunter stories, from what I understand. You are hunter. Here is big monster. Fight other monsters to get stronger and get better equipment to go beat the big one. And when you beat the big one, hooray, we move on. It's not even day saved. It's more like, okay, we took out the thing that was affecting the forest and stuff. We're good. Like, we've stabilized, like, the natural order of things around here. Because that's all they do, really, is that they just, like, keep the monsters from overpopulating. And they also keep monsters from, like, destroying, like, different environments because they're not supposed to be in this area. I think that's, like, the plot of Monster Hunter World, actually, is that the one big monster there is a monster that shouldn't be in the region, and they have to redirect it elsewhere so it doesn't disrupt the environment. Because you're not supposed to be here, you need to go that way. So yeah, this movie, I'm not watching it. I've got better things to do than watch this.
Same.
But on the other hand, did you know that we're getting a rebooted Resident Evil movie on top of the Netflix series, apparently?
Nope.
Because neither did I till I saw this, and I'm like, wait, this is for the Netflix series, right? Wait, no, this is for a movie? Okay. So we're getting those, and we're getting a new animated Resident Evil movie on Netflix? Okay, sure. So, this new movie is going to be an original take on Resident Evil, but it will be a faithful adaptation. And I guess it's an origin story because we're more or less... I say we're getting the original crew from RE1, but Leon's here and he's RE2. So we have people I don't know who are offhand playing Jill, Chris, Wesker, Leon, and Birkin. Which means, I guess, Leon's getting co-opted into the story of RE1, I guess. Or something. And we're leaving off Claire, even though I don't know why. And Ada. But I guess we just wanted another good guy, and I guess we need Leon then. Oh well. So they've got casting. I guess it's going to be in pre-production at the moment, or production of some kind, and it'll come out like 2 years or so from now, maybe. I don't know. Look, we got one, I think maybe 2 good video game movies within the last couple of years. I don't think we've got enough luck on our side to get more than that for now.
No, I know we don't.
So yeah, I'm not super looking forward to this, especially until we get like more information on this. Unfortunately, there's also something else we gotta wait on. Because you know those Banjo, Terry, and Violet amiibo that got announced?
Mm-hmm.
How do you feel about waiting until next year for them?
Well,
like, hard into next year. Like, probably gonna be middle of next year, if I'm willing to bet.
Well.
So yeah, we gotta wait for some to get on our shelves.
Oh boy, did Discord break. I feel like it might have.
One else real quick.
Yay! It did.
Okay. Hang on, I need to separate real quick. I'll be right back.
Okay.
Alright, I'm back. I had to take care of something real quick.
Okay, welcome back.
So yeah, we're waiting on those amiibo, unfortunately.
Of course we are.
I still need to get the other ones I'm missing, like the Splatoon 2 ones and the Bobclim. How do you pronounce that? Bokoblin?
Yes.
Is it Bokoblin? Oh, okay, it's supposed to be the Bokoblin one. Those are the 4 I'm missing out of the amiibo I want. I just haven't bothered to get them. I think I can import them off. I think I can get them off like Amazon, through Amazon. Like, I think they're actually on Amazon, just importing in from their Amazon Japan side, and it's a little bit more than probably should be paying for them. But I finally have them, and I could be fully caught up on Amiibo. So need to do that at some point since I now have a job and have money. But anywho, we have a weird story. So you know Star Wars Squadrons, right?
Yep.
And you know how I think it's been pretty well received for the most part. So
I honestly don't know.
I think it has been. I think it has been, but as it turns out, they're not wanting to turn it into a live service. Cool. They're also not going to want to. They're not wanting to do post-launch content for it in any capacity. Which I'm like, what? What do you mean? No post-game content at all? Like you're not even going to do new maps and stuff? Like, just like, hey, here's a map pack, or hey, here's some new ships, like a few months from now. Here's like a themed expansion, something like that. Just nope. Just it's done. It's on the shelf. Buy it if you want.
Yeah, I feel like that concept's not a good one either.
I feel like that's like going too far. Like, yeah, I understand like you not wanting to turn this into a live service and drip feeding content over the course of like 6 months. But I don't quite understand it just going, we're doing no post-game content for this. Like, you buy the game, that is everything we're doing for the game. We have moved on to other projects. Like, why wouldn't you do like just old-fashioned map packs and stuff?
I don't feel like I like that idea, but oddly enough, I also feel like I kind of like the idea that Nintendo's taken up with the DLC, where it kind of does kind of dribble along throughout the course between development cycles. I do see the articles kind of saying, you know, sometimes no DLC is better than 3 years worth of DLC, and yeah, I can understand that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I feel like in this day and age, if games don't at least have something to kind of keep it relevant by the time it comes around on its 1 year mark, then yeah, you run the risk of whatever you sell initially is the only thing you're selling.
Yeah.
I don't know if I like the whole, we're just going to release it with no DLC, period.
Yeah. Because, like, if the game has enough support and stuff, I would think, like even if they're not wanting to, like, drip feed, like, maps and stuff over the course of, every couple of months, like, at least doing, like, a themed expansion. Like, here's, like, I don't know, like, a original trilogy themed expansion that gives you, like, here's, like, 2 more ships, and here's a couple of, like, themed maps. Like, here's a Death Star map, and here's, like, I can't even think of ones.
I guess the only arguing point I could maybe see as far as that goes is because then that also means they've got to do bug fixes after it comes out.
Yeah.
So maybe they don't want to have all of that overhead.
Yeah.
but at the same time, I feel like that's going to cripple the game worse.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's just it's one of those weird situations of just like, I've never heard a developer say this out loud. This is new.
Well, at least not in some time. Not since, you know, the age of DLC.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, we'll see how it goes. Last up, because like I said, nothing really interesting on the list. So we've got a new Hyrule Warriors Calamity trailer focused on the Yiga clan and their dork-ass dork leader. And it's a nice, wonderful trailer. And nothing super surprising in it outside of, oh, look, the Yiga are bad guys in the game. No surprise. Except for the end of the trailer, which shows us somebody seemingly in contact with the Yiga that we have never seen before. And they've got a fancy glowing orb in their hand. And they kind of look like Vaati, but I am probably just making a bad assumption because I know nothing about Zelda lore.
Kind of letting the trailer play.
Mm-hmm. Like I said, it is at the end. So. But this guy doesn't speak. He just kind of like has the Yiga bowing to him or kneeling to him. Like he might be in charge in some capacity. So what is his deal? I'm waiting for you to get to that part of the trailer to see what you think about it.
I could see that, actually.
And like, again, to reiterate this for those that don't know, Hyrule Warriors Calamity is a prequel to Breath of the Wild. This is the, like, story of what happened 1,000 years ago.
This article is kind of getting similar vibes. Because they're pointing fingers more at Aghanim. Both of which were actually aiming to get the power that Ganon in his actual form has. So that could potentially go either direction. I could see that, actually. I could see that going either direction there. Wow. Also, Discord broke again. Thanks, Discord. Thanks, Discord. Okay.
I'm back.
You walked away, apparently, and I didn't know that.
I thought it was...
Discord broke.
Okay. I guess it broke while I was trying to say that.
Yeah.
So yeah, what do you... As someone who knows more Zelda than I do...
Well, the article there says that the writer was getting Aghanim vibes, and that makes sense. Aghanim and Vaati were both looking for the power that Ganon holds.
Mm-hmm.
Therefore, either one could actually fit in that.
Mm-hmm. Like, I feel like this emblem thing on his back is supposed to be a hint to whoever the hell this person is, and I don't know what that means. Someone with far more Zelda know-how would probably maybe recognize this more than I do. I would hope. Do you recognize it at all?
I feel like I've seen it somewhere, but I don't recall right offhand.
Is there a Breath of the Wild Reddit? So maybe they have deciphered this. It's like, I just don't know.
Although you might have nailed it with Vadi. It depends on if that's supposed to kind of reference his monster form. Because that very likely could.
Mm-hmm. I was just looking around for information. I see nothing at the moment on a quick search, so... Oh well. I don't know. I'm really curious of what...
Ooh, either direction could work.
Oh,
God, either direction could work. Because... the logo on Aghanim right there
yeah.
looks very similar to the Yiga clan one.
Very true.
Either could work.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Now here's the big question.
I'm now looking at this because honestly I've not played Link to the Past proper.
Mm-hmm.
Looking at what the Zelda wiki has, seeing as how he's an alter ego of Ganon, that one now I'm kind of leaning more towards, as far as it being Aghanim.
So like this, if this is him and it's like an alternate ego of Ganon, is this like some sort of like puppet of his that he can like send out to do his bidding?
To put it simple, probably, yeah. More along that lines.
Mm-hmm. Like this is how he deals with the Yiga clan, is that he sends his big old puppet to be like, yo, tell the Yiga clan to go kill Zelda for me, please. Kinda need that done.
It's one of those, I'm definitely kind of feeling like that is going to be the direction we're going to see something there.
Yeah. Now, the bigger question from this trailer, will this have anything to do with Breath of the Wild 2?
If it is Aghanim, I feel like that's going to be no. I feel like instead this is more going to help tie in a lot of the theory crafts for why we've got all three timelines in Breath of the Wild. But I don't think it's going to actually push forward.
Mm-hmm.
The only way that I might could see this work as the pushing forward point is if basically, since Aghanim is an alter ego of Ganondorf, then potentially this could explain how he's still alive.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's the only other thing that I can think of there, is maybe that's the way. But I almost feel like this is going to be no, this isn't going to tie directly into 2.
Yeah. I don't know, something in my gut's like, there's got to be some part of this game that's like a tease for Breath of the Wild 2. Like that's part of the reason why we haven't heard anything, is just like, technically this game is like the next big tease of it, of just like, here's your next clue of what's to come.
It probably is. But I also feel like I almost feel like a lot of the tease for Breath of the Wild 2 might actually more come from, especially with, that timeline is from Nintendo. It's not really people just randomly are trying to cram these seemingly non-related games together.
Mm-hmm.
It almost makes me wonder if they're maybe tying it together in this game for a reason for 2.
Yeah.
Like, maybe along the lines of Age of Calamity is kind of gonna be the trying to recall events, like you were saying before, but so that they can go about it a different way of maybe stopping Ganon from having the power he does.
Yeah.
Like, maybe this is the retelling of that event so that in Breath of the Wild 2 they can be like, okay, well, if we do XYZ, then we should be able to stop his power because that's how he should have gotten it to begin with.
Right.
And I know that can sound like I'm kind of saying time travel. I'm not directly saying that. That could potentially be something.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like this is more of a trying to recall everything to pinpoint how he has his power, how he's still alive, and stuff like that, and be like, okay, well, if that is Aghanim that's over the Yiga clan, if he's still in existence, okay, if we kill him, that's one of his outlets, we should be able to kill Ganon.
Yeah.
If we see... I don't think, did we ever get confirmation that Ganon held part of the Triforce in Breath of the Wild? Because I don't think we did.
The Triforce didn't come up that much in Breath of the Wild to start with.
Like outside of Zelda itself.
Yeah. I don't think even Link has his normal piece of the Triforce in Breath of the Wild.
So maybe it's a case of we maybe find out that Ganon couldn't be defeated because the form we killed him in Breath of the Wild didn't actually hold the Triforce of Strength.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe we see Breath of the Wild 2 being the point where we try to get Link the Triforce of Courage. Since that kind of was excluded there.
Yeah, because Breath of the Wild's whole thing was Zelda's got the magic, Link's got the sword, 1 + 1 = dead Ganon.
Yeah,
that was the long and short of it.
We didn't really go to the normal Triforce being a thing concept.
Yeah.
So that's making me wonder if maybe you're right in the fact of this is a retelling of events, but it's for a different reason, and this retelling of events in of itself is what's actually going to lead into 2.
Yeah. Also, hey Charizard. Because I feel like there's got to be more to it than here is what went down, because we got the gist of what went down from all the memories in Breath of the Wild. Like, got...
Like I keep saying, we pretty much know Age of Calamity is not going to have a happy ending. It can't.
No, we're going to get one last battle of Link fighting 12 million enemies and slowly have his health whittle down. We're essentially getting the end of Reach, but in Muso form.
Yeah, and I mean, we know that, and we know they can't really go around that because then we're causing all kinds of problems.
Yeah. We can get wrinkles in there, like Impa showing off her fucking Naruto powers. Oh. Actually, Shin movie. Is that the Toei Toku channel, or is that somebody else? Because I know the Toei Toku channel's uploaded one of the Rider movies from that time period, but I don't remember which one. Might need a link to that, because I think it might be them, is what you're looking at, because that's actually the official Toei Toku channel that has that Shin movie. Or it might just be someone else, I don't know. Anywho. But yeah, there's gotta be a catch of just like, yeah, you know what happened. Here's what actually happened in the background. And we slowly get the pieces of like, oh, here's the stuff we missed. Because Link's technically an amnesiac in Breath of the Wild, so he doesn't remember everything.
It's one of those that I'm like, yeah, there's something there. Do I think this mysterious figure, whoever it is the key going forward? Probably not.
He's probably someone for us to blow up at the end.
That, or he's gonna be elusive and he's gonna be one of the focal points for 2. I'm not gonna say the focal point, but at least one of them.
Oh, okay, Charizard. That's exactly what I was talking about. That's actually Toei's own YouTube channel, actually. They upload a lot of their old Toku stuff there. Most of it doesn't have subs, but if it does, I think those are fan subs uploaded with like closed captions, or through the closed caption system, which unfortunately is going to disappear at the end of the year. So, oops.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, that's Toei's official channel. That's like an official release of Shin, technically, with I think no subs.
Unless they go back in and decide they want to do it.
Yeah, but there's like a ton of stuff on there that they don't. And also a bunch of stuff that like we can't have access to unless you like VPN it, because I think like the first like 5 Sentai series are on there. But unless you VPN it to like Japan, I think, then it's not. Oh, it does have the English captions? Okay, then I don't know if those are the official ones or there's their fan ones, because I think some fans, like some people have uploaded captions to give those English subs. So I don't know if it was that or official, but anyway, that's an official release of Shin for anyone who wants to go watch Shin.
I
more or less
wonder if YouTube will have a way, because I've not really looked into it, but have a way to where the owner of the video can look over the user suggested captions and decide whether to use them or not.
I think they can put them back in. It would essentially be like I think the owner has to put them back in.
Yeah, I know anything. I know anything at that point, it is from the owner.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm kind of wondering if maybe they're just stored there and the owner can be like, yeah, go ahead, throw them back on.
Yeah.
Because if so, we could potentially have them being like, yeah, sure, we'll let these roll.
Yeah. I know one website's working on like getting that back in there. Go Ranger, that's the first one actually, but I think you have to VPN to outside the US due to Hasbro having rights to Power Rangers. So I forget what all's on there. I used to have a doc that said what all was available and where. I don't know if it's up to date at the moment. Because someone linked it. Is Portrine on here? Because I know that recently got put up on there. Oh no, it is. Yeah, I'll throw this your way and I'll throw it in chat. This doc has everything that's supposed to be on the channel. And what region those are available in. I'm not sure how up to date it is, but that is what everything should be. What's all on there per region, more or less. As you can see, it's a very large backlog of old Toku stuff that Toei owns. So yeah, I just can't wait for this game to come out. It's another one of those, like, this game needs to come out so I can play it and do fun. Also, love how I scroll down the comments and I see first comment is like, it might be Vati, and I'm like, how the fuck?
I mean, it could be either one. That's why I'm like, oof. To me, after looking at everything with Aghanim, I'm like, yeah, I could see that. I could see Vati. To me, it feels like Aghanim makes more sense, though.
Yeah.
But it won't really surprise me if they come out and are like, oh, this is Vati instead. It's like, oh, okay. That works too.
Yeah. I assume you're confused about the conversation, Charizard, because you've unfortunately hopped into the middle of us talking about the recent Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity trailer, and its possible implications on Breath of the Wild going forward with Breath of the Wild 2. Since we have mysterious villain that doesn't exist in Breath of the Wild, and now it's who are you? And what is your role in all this? Oh no, it's fine. We need reasons to kill time since this is our last article for the night. It's really like an hour and a half, so. Fortunately, my quick draw will probably get us talking for a while because it's Memory of Heroes related.
Yeah, it's a question mark on which way that is, but either way, I think it'll work out.
Mm-hmm. Well,
also, I might have essentially forgot to, open your quick draw and all of that.
Hmm.
And you did mean for it to open at that time code, right?
What time code did it open at?
So I take that as a no, it was supposed to start at the beginning.
Yeah, it's supposed to. I think it just started at that time code because that's where I stopped the video to check something.
Did that fix the link, though? No, it didn't. Yeah, you copied the link at that time code. I fixed it.
Okay. Because I was checking something about the birth that's appearing in the game. I was just like, all right, let me re-listen to that dialogue and see if I can get an idea of who it is. Because I was double checking to see if it was Goto birth, and I believe it's Goto birth. Because he mentions Kogami Foundation and all that, and it sounds like Goto birth. Yeah, honestly, Shin's more of a... As far as I understand, the Shin movie's more of a horror movie, so if you're not up for that, probably don't bother. If you're not up for a kind of horror movie, then that's kind of just what it is.
It's spooky month. You ought to be in horror mode.
Yeah, he has a pretty much a monster's transformation. It's one of those cases of like it is
kind of bonkers.
It is bonkers, and it is about as off as off the beaten path as you can get when it comes to like the main entries of Rider. Like there is stuff kind of like this. Like I think Amazon's is technically like your closest comparison. Amazon's is in the Amazon Prime series, not the original Showa series. Like Amazon's is kind of the closest because it has that sort of horror and gore factor. Because I know the one scene of Shin decapitating someone by quite literally Mortal Kombat ripping their head out and with their spine. So. So, yeah. It is one of those cases of, if you're not up for something like that, you're better off not watching. Hey, CGI Kuga transformation's fine. It's just old. Like 20 years old at this point.
And old CGI doesn't go well? Just saying.
Hmm. Oh, true.
I mean, I can understand. Old CGI is to be kind of a different beast.
Mm-hmm. Especially 2000 CGI.
Okay. I'll give you that exception there. Mm-hmm. So, older non-Pixar CGI. We'll go with that way. Beast Wars CGI is fine. It's definitely got a low poly look to it at times, but it works for what it is. It helps it was... And I'm not saying old CGI looks bad, it just hasn't aged well.
I think the difference with those is those are completely created in a CG environment, whereas like the Kuga transformation is CG trying to be applied to real world, or it's CGI mixed with like practical filming techniques, and it's just like
which, let's be honest, looking at Saber, even now they still are having problems with that.
Yeah, if it's CG in CG world, it's gonna look better, but if it's CG compared to real life, it's the case of, oh, you see the seams.
Okay, you say that, except even with Saber kind of disproves that.
Well, that is them trying to use Unreal Engine as a thing to animate with, and
yeah,
and it's a studio that is relatively new as well, from my understanding of the article.
So that makes it even worse. Okay, that makes more sense then.
Yeah, it's a relatively new studio apparently doing it, and I'm just like, oh, so do they have any experience animating stuff in Unreal Engine? Oh yeah, another Kuga does not look good in Ace Generations Forever.
I mean, I wasn't even going to touch that one.
Yeah, it's not very good. Granted, it's in line with the rest of the other riders. It just needs to not be a big, stupid CG monster.
Yep.
Anywho, let's roll through releases real quick. Ish. Because it's a bit of a list.
Yep.
Alright, we're going to kick things off on the 19th with Death Ray Manta for Switch. On the 20th, we have 1971 Project Helios for PlayStation 4 and Switch, Amnesia Rebirth for PlayStation 4, AVI CII Infector Encore Edition for Switch, Battle Hunters for Switch, Control Ultimate Edition for Xbox One and PlayStation 4, Crosscode for PlayStation 4 and Switch. That's that neat little, like, crossover retro game, isn't it?
I think so.
Yeah, another double looks good, but that's because it more or less is just doing an SIC version of double. So you can't fuck that up.
Well, I mean, you can.
No, this is a top-down game. I think I've seen this play before, and it looked good. SIC is I think like a 12-inch toy line for Ryder. It's kind of weirdly, it's very, I wouldn't say another Ryder-like, but it's like a step back from another Ryder's in terms of like doing more high-detailed, kind of monstrous design of Riders. There is a very oddball toy line with the designs they do, because they translate the design into a hyper detailed, kind of supposed to be realistic take on that. Yeah, well, I was meaning more just the general aesthetic, not the details of it being like sewn together, and it also referencing like the second to last episode of Double with the outer two halves of the face, and also referencing the Sonozaki family with the Double Driver being very South American in design. But anyway, no, Crosscode's a top-down, blah, blah, can't think of the word for it. It's a top-down shooter, I think, or shooter, kind of maybe a bit roguelike, maybe not. Anyway, I think I've seen Ty plays this like a long time ago.
I think you have.
Because I think it was a Kickstarter.
I think I remember seeing him playing it before.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think it was Kickstarter.
When you mentioned Ty, that was like, that's why I've heard that before. Yep. Mm-hmm. That's exactly why.
Alright, we also got Doom Eternal, The Ancient Gods, Part 1 for Xbox One, PlayStation 4, Hyperball Tournament for Xbox One, PlayStation 4, and Switch, Monster Truck Championship for Xbox One, PlayStation 4, Outpost Delta for Xbox One, PlayStation 4, and Switch, and 2 Point Hospital Culture Shock for Switch. On the 21st, A Tale of Paper for PlayStation 4, Bullet Beat for Switch, Horus for Switch, Macrotus, A Mother's Journey for Xbox One and PlayStation 4, Rusty Spout Rescue Adventure for Xbox One, and Scourgebringer for Xbox One and Switch. On the 22nd, Asterix and Obelix XXL Remastered for Switch, Bless Unleashed for PlayStation 4, Disc Room for Switch, Double Pug Switch for Switch, Fractor for Switch, Goner 2, If Found, Luna the Shadow Dust, Nullum, Outbreak Epidemic, the Sword and Shield Crown Tundra DLC, all for Switch, Raise the Dead for PlayStation 4, Restless Hero for Switch, Rusty Spout Rescue Adventures for Switch, Superland for Xbox One, PlayStation 4, and Switch, The Red Lanterns for Switch, Believe Pixels for Switch, Tool Boy for Switch, Torchlight 3 for Switch, and War Tile for Switch. On the 23rd, BH Trials for Xbox One, Cadence of Hyrule, Crypto the Necromancer, featuring The Legend of Zelda Complete Edition for Switch.
Yep, that was the Crown Tundra.
Yep. We went over a couple details that came out from a morning talk show in Japan, where they demoed some of the gameplay and talked about the Dynamax Adventures. Fortunately, you guarantee to catch legendaries. Unfortunately, you can only catch one of each, which is fine, I guess.
I do believe too, we're gonna actually be doing that on the 23rd. I think we'll do that.
Mm-hmm.
I think we'll just plan for that being the Friday stream, push Luigi's Mansion to the Rampant Gaming slot, and that'll keep everything straightened out. Unless you want to switch Fire Emblem. Like, if you wanted to do that, then we'll go a different route there.
I don't know if I want to, because I don't want to be up like super late Thursday night. Because I know we'll probably go long. So we'll want to go through as much as we can.
Right.
So I kind of want to wait till Friday to do it.
That's fine by me. That's why I'm like, unless you just want to.
Yeah.
That's going to be the plan.
Yeah. It's going to feel weird for me doing all these Dynamax adventures because I have all those legendaries. So I'm like, who wants or who needs a legendary? Because I got this one.
Yeah.
Actually, the only ones I really need are the dogs because I would like to have their non-shiny versions because I have their shiny versions from of like one movie that came out and I got the codes and I got the giveaway versions of them.
Yeah, that's actually going to wind up being me at some point because, you know, the way that I've kind of got the legendaries, they're sitting in the home box right now.
Mm-hmm.
But I know I don't have all of them, so there'll still be room to grind.
Yeah, I'd be more than happy to help you get to them.
Yeah, my worry is going to be how hard the grind is going to be to finish the decks.
Mm-hmm.
Because, yeah.
Well, because I assume all the legendaries would be in the regional decks, so I would have all those marked off. Thank God. So I'll have to grind out all of them to get that done. It'd just be everything else. Yeah. I mean, I could just trade you the legendaries. You can trade them back just to get the Pokedex entries marked off.
Yeah, but you know what's bad? If I'm not mistaken, I think everything thus far, I've actually got a Pokemon within that line actually sitting in a box. So I probably would want to go ahead and just keep that trend going. Unfortunately, that's gonna suck.
Is Card Shop in the stuff for returning Pokemon?
I don't know.
I will look. Because I know a while back, because of the data in Isle of Armor, we knew what was coming back, even for Crown Tundra.
Except for, I thought, wasn't there some of the legendaries that weren't in that list?
It might have been, but it might have technically been the mythicals. Oh, he is? Okay. I was gonna go dig through Cerebee's information for this.
Because if I'm not mistaken, I was thinking there was one or two that wasn't in that list.
I don't know. They're supposed to be.
But they're all supposed to be there, so it's like, that might legitimately be we need to wait until it comes out to make the final who didn't make it.
Mm-hmm.
Because also some of the classifications they were given the mythicals was also was also counting, you know, mythicals as legendaries.
Yeah. Which
is incorrect, but
yeah.
Oh well.
Oh, Garchomp was in one of the trailers. That makes sense. Is it on? I'm looking through Cerebee's list for this. They may not have the Garchomp listed for some reason, unless I'm skipping over him. I might be. Oh no, there he is. I was skipping over him. That makes sense. Oh, Magnezone, Licky are coming back. Which, they're not in... No, they are. Okay, no, they got the Sword and Shield models on this list.
Ah.
You can tell which ones are supposed to be coming in Crown Tundra and which ones are already in, because it's the difference between the 3DS model and the Switch model. You can see the grain.
differences.
Yeah. I'm just looking through here, seeing what if the mythic in here got counted. Initially, no. Could be wrong. No, nothing in Cerebee's list is mythical, technically. Technically. I think the closest thing, I guess, is Cresselia. But you catch Cresselia in black and white. Like, Cresselia is, I don't think is technically a mythic. That's just a straight up encounter. Or, oh, technically that's like not that gen, but oh well. Anyway. 23rd. Where were we on this?
After Cadence of Hyrule.
Yeah. Clea for Xbox One. Cross Crush for Switch. Galasai for Xbox One, PlayStation 4 and Switch. Goosebumps Dead of Night for Xbox One, PlayStation 4 and Switch. Grood for Switch. Grood for Xbox One and PlayStation 4. I don't know why they're different. Oh well. Kakurusu World for Switch, Lord of the Clink for Xbox One, Maze for Switch, Monster for Xbox One, PlayStation 4 and Switch, Mortal Shell for Xbox One, PlayStation 4. That's the new Dark Souls game, or Dark Souls-like game. With the kind of weird, like, Second Life system where you, like, get knocked out of your armor and you have to make it back to your armor to, like keep fighting at like your proper level and stuff. It's strange. It's also a strange looking game. It's a bit of an out there aesthetic. We also got Pumpkin Jack for Xbox One, PlayStation 4 and Switch. Supermarket Shriek for PlayStation 4 and Switch. The Oliver Twins Collection for Evercade. Transformers Battleground for Xbox One, PlayStation 4 and Switch. That's actually a Transformers tactics game. I've seen a couple trailers of it when I'm doing articles. It kind of looks interesting, especially since it's using Cyberverse as a basis, and apparently Cyberverse is really good from everything I hear about it now, and I'm like, I've been wanting the new Transformers cartoon to watch. And we just don't have one. Apparently I need to watch Cyberverse. It's all on YouTube. Like, officially on YouTube. Alright, lastly, Truck Driving Simulator for Switch. On the 27th, Carto for Xbox One, PlayStation 4 and Switch. Cobra Kai, the Karate Kid saga continues for Xbox One, PlayStation 4 and Switch. Dungreed for PlayStation 4 and Switch. Ghost Runner for Xbox One, PlayStation 4 and Switch. Human Fall Flat Anniversary Edition for Xbox One and PlayStation 4. Ikaruga for PlayStation 4 and Switch. Instant Chef Party for Switch. My Universe Fashion Boutique for PlayStation 4 and Switch. Oddworld Abe's Odyssey New and Tasty for Switch. Sonic vs. Super Monkey Ball Blitz. Banana Blitz HD Double Pack for Switch. And Sonic Mania Team Sonic Racing Double Pack for Switch. One of those seems better than the other. One of those is you're getting 2 games. The other one, you're getting a good game and I think a questionable game.
I mean, I feel like they're both one-sided.
fair enough. We also got the Blue Coats North versus South for Xbox 4 and Switch, and the Legend of Heroes Trials of Cold Steel 4 Frontline Edition for PlayStation 4. I'll be honest, Charizard, I have no nostalgia for G1 because I didn't grow up with G1 at all, so all the G1 pandering and all the G1 references go over my head hard. Because for me, there is one Dinobot, and it is Dinobot, and he is a very good character. I'm sure they are, but I am used to there being one Dinobot who may or may not be the namesake of the Dinobots collectively because of Beast Wars may or may not have done that. Oh, okay. I was about to say, I only know of G1 through any, like, external references that get made to it. I never watched the show proper. Alright. We've got releases on the 28th for Gibbous, a Cthulhu adventure for Switch. Oceanhorn 2, Knights of the Lost Realm for Switch, and Star 99 for Switch. On the 29th, hashtag Halloween Super Puzzles Dream for Switch. Barbarian for Switch. Crimson Clover World Expansion for Switch. Day of the Tentacle Remastered for Xbox One. Oh. Was it the UK, or was it just a weird, dumb copyright issue? I don't remember. I think there might be some Transformers name that's different because of a weird, dumb copyright issue. I really don't remember. Oh god, someone just found out that Azu's the one in the Arc 01 suit. Also, I need to put this... I need to put this picture on stream. It's too good of a picture. Because Azu is, for being kind of superfluous in the grand scheme of things, a 01, she's also stupidly good. And this is a really good, stupid good picture of her.
I don't remember if I got the Discord thing fixed, actually.
Oh no! People don't get to enjoy this stupid good picture of Azu.
I don't even see the... Why is it not in here?
Oh no.
I don't even have the source in here, so... Oops, I don't know what I've done there. I bet I don't have that one put up either. Nope, because I was actually sharing the... Right. So, about that.
Yeah. Oh no!
Because I'm almost positive I don't have that fixed.
Oh, can you not pull it up just in the browser normally?
Yeah, I gotta figure out why that broke. Because I don't have that fixed. I'm right on that. Okay. Plan B?
Plan B! Enjoy this picture of evil Izu. That is Azu, who is just a mood. That is her entire character, is mood and incredibly hard troll. And the fact that she is Arc 01 in the fucking stage show is just like, all right, can we get Izu as a rider now? Because I need her to beat the shit out of Azu now. This makes far too much sense for this to not happen. And it won't. Anywho, rest of the releases. Alright, where did I they have the Tentacle Remaster?
Honestly, don't remember.
I'm gonna say Tentacle Remaster for Xbox One because we got Esports Life Tycoon for Switch. Joy. Full Throttle Remaster for Xbox One. Grim Fandango Remaster for Xbox One. Later Daters Part 2 for Switch. Red Rope Don't Fall Behind Plus for Switch. Sekiro Shadows Die Twice for Stadia. Super Puzzle Pack for Switch. Watch Dogs Legion for Xbox One, PlayStation 4, and Stadia. Zwan Yuan Sword 6. For Xbox One and PlayStation 4. UP Psycho for Executive Edition for Switch. And on the 30th, Angry Video Game Nerd 1 and 2 Deluxe for Switch. Auto Chess for PlayStation 4. Chase 2 Animatronics Survival for Xbox One and Switch. Or Case 2. I think I said Chase 2.
You did.
Okay. It's Case 2. Is this a Five Nights knockoff, more or less? Oh, it does. Wonderful. Someone trying to be Five Nights, more or less. And actually like a first-person game proper. Okay, cool. Yay! I think we're late to the party on that one. Alright, we also got Clea for Switch, Haunted Poppy's Nightmare for Switch, Legends of Eternal for Xbox One, PlayStation 4, and Switch, Mad Rat Dead for PlayStation 4 and Switch, NHL 94 Rewind for Xbox One, PlayStation 4, Oniria Crimes for PlayStation 4, Switch, Android, and iOS, Pikmin 3 Deluxe for Switch, Pixel Puzzle Makeout League for Switch, The Dark Pictures Little Hope, which is the next Dark Pictures anthology entry for Xbox One, PlayStation 4, and then the Dark Pictures Anthology Volume 1, which is just that and I can't remember the name of the other one, but it's the two of them together for PlayStation 4. If you enjoyed Until Dawn, it's the same developers. Alright. We also have The Language of Love for Switch and Umihara Kawaze Bazooka for PlayStation 4 and Switch. And finally, on the 31st, Arcade 1-Up Golden Axe and Dig Dug Quarter Arcades are coming out as standalone little cabinets. Art School for Switch, Dusk for Switch, Freddy Fazbear's Pizzeria Simulator for Switch, F-Sim Spatial VR for Oculus Go, Made of Skier for Switch, Polybus hard copy game, I guess a Polybus re-release for the Atari 2600 for those rare few who still have working Atari 2600s. Star Shaman for Oculus Quest and Twilight Path for PlayStation 4. And now, Quick Draws! Mine! You know how Memory Heroes is coming out at the end of the month and I won't shut up about it?
More. Yep.
Yeah.
I figured you were just going to keep on going.
Okay. So, this past week, they did a stream at like 9 o'clock in the morning. Talking about having I think a couple of the devs on with one of the performers from the Kamen Rider Girls talking about the game, and they were showing off some new gameplay and a new trailer, and having a message from Aruto's actor, and having a talk with Koichi Sakamoto about him doing the opening cutscene in the game. But this new trailer kind of sums up the big new things coming out of that event, or coming out of that, because more or less, not only will Shotaro be out of suit, I guess, for some instances of the game, so will Eiji. No looks at Aruto just yet. We see the Revolve Gary driving around. We have a brand new Greed, Greed, based off the, I forget the CSM combo, but that new CSM combo that's in this game, we're getting that Greed debuting in this game. We are also getting Axel as a playable character with the gameplay that they did show off as a demo of Axel in action. Axel and Booster are the free changes on the wheel. Trial is actually your final form. He doesn't look like he has that much variety to him, but it kind of makes sense because there's not a whole lot different you can do with his different form changes.
True.
So, although when you go back into base Axel, off like going on in the booster, he goes into bike mode and just drives around for a hot second to hit everyone. We are also getting Goto birth, not Date birth, like we normally do, as a playable character. We don't have gameplay for him just yet, so we don't know what his form wheel is, but I'm assuming it's the different claw system parts, and his final form gauge is just going to be birthday. And because Edgy stuck the broken core metal into a pile of cell metals, Onk's back as in some capacity that I don't know. But he's at least talking to Edgy, and I guess he's here to help. I do know, based off, again, some of the more demo gameplay we got that was more standard, we have a boss fight against the Kyoryu Greed, or essentially the Dinosaur Greed, which is Maki's Greed form. And we also have a fight against Lonk, which actually predates this cutscene. That boss fight with Lonk is actually leads into this cutscene, where you see Onk show up.
Ah. Huh.
But that was the big takeaways from the stream. Also, from the looks of it, because it's quickly glimpsed in the trailer, Cyclone Joker Gold Extreme is also in the game in a cutscene. Because it's doing a rider kick with Oz Tajador in 01 Rising Hopper for some reason. But yeah, I can't think of much more to talk about from there.
I am kind of curious as to why we've not seen a whole lot of 01 content.
I have seen that question get asked a lot. I'm under the assumption that because of the development time on this game, 01 more or less was an in-progress addition to the game that they added in probably as a mandate of just like, we need the current writer in, so here's 01, put him in the game. And they're like, okay. So they put him in, but they put his forms in as they were getting like the stuff needed to develop all that. But because of that limitation of this game being developed at the same time as 01 was in production, they can't put too much in because they wouldn't have enough foreknowledge to be able to develop it.
Except I feel like they might have, because didn't we really find out as far as 01 forms, Arc 1 really was the only thing that wasn't supposed to be his?
We had up to 02, and we didn't even get confirmation of 02 until like really close to the end of the show.
But what I'm kind of getting at is, I mean, I could understand maybe us not having the final forms, but I can't foresee that, like, if they were going to add Vulcan in, I can't foresee them not having something for him.
Right.
Even if it was just base form right now, kind of deal.
Yeah,
that's one of those, that's why I'm like, that, it feels weird that we're kind of just ignoring 01. Yet we've gotten a good little bit of information for both double and O's.
Yeah. I think the problem is that in reality, this is a double and O's game, and 01 is just here to help. Because he's still interacting with the cast members, like that cutscene I was just talking about, or that fight and stuff with Maki and Long. Aruto's there, and with Shotaro and Philip, or Shotaro, Philip, and Edgy. He's there talking to them. He's interacting with the other cast members of this game. So it's not like he's just off on his own doing his own thing. He's still interacting with everyone. I think it might just be a case of we are dealing with very much double and O's related threats. Therefore, double and O's take the lead, and 01 is here as a mandate, and he is just here to be here, is what it's just going to come down to. If there is 01 content in here, they could just be hiding it. It could just be like something they're just keeping in the background because it's not the main focus.
Like, the only other thing I can think of that could potentially make sense is the way we found out most of the forms for double and O's has been with a fight scene with an important villain from their series. Maybe these trailers and everything was done before hands, so they didn't really have that information for 01.
Well, we've seen Double in action with his form change gauge and actual gameplay. He actually faces Taboo in a boss fight.
But like I said, a major boss.
Yeah.
Maybe they didn't have the equivalent for 01. Because maybe those trailers and stuff were done before the show was that far in.
Yeah.
Because that's something, too, that would make more sense then. If the trailers were being made earlier in development, then that would make sense why we're not seeing a lot of 01 stuff also, because, I mean, they would have to kind of be working it in as they're going.
Yeah. And it's just easier to go, we'll work in 01, but we are not going to try to work in, especially plot-wise, like, why are there Magia here? Why is Vulcan showing up helping? Why is this happening and that happening? It's just like, it's easier for us to just go, Aruto is here investigating something, and that's the long and short of the conversation. Because that's the reason he's here, plot-wise, is that he's investigating the town, or he got, like, a strange signal from the town, and he's investigating it.
Let's see what's getting me more so with this trailer than the past ones, because I can write that off for that. But this one is the first time we've actually seen the secondary riders.
This is actually also the first time they've even announced that, announced it. Like, this is a first reveal at this stream of just like, yeah, they're here too. And so is all. So
that even more compounds the, okay, well then why are we still getting very little 01 stuff? Because Vulcan's been around pretty much since the beginning of 01. So it's not a case of they didn't know he existed.
Yeah.
It kind of feels odd and almost makes me lean to one of two things. Either one, they were working in the 01 stuff after they had the main game, like you were saying, because it was kind of forced into it.
Yeah.
or they might not have wanted to do something like that to kind of leave that as a surprise kind of deal.
Maybe.
Since it is the newer series, it'd be one of those that'd get everyone like, ooh, I wonder what forms they're going to put in, or ooh, I wonder who they're going to put in.
Yeah, I mean, they've already surprised everyone, like, enough as is, because it's just like, out of nowhere they went, here's a CSM form, and now it's like, here is Agreed associated with that CSM form, here is Axel and Burf as playable characters, here is Ankh returning in a supporting role, maybe even to go as far as a playable character. I doubt that, but who fucking knows at this point? Like,
well, I mean, that could be possible. We saw Eternal's memory, so
Eternal shows up in this game. We legitimately have a cutscene in the game where he is just there in person, saying his catchphrase and stuff. So, like, he's here in like some capacity.
But
well before we teach that memory.
What I mean is that could also mean that maybe he's even playable.
Yeah,
it's one of those. The game might be bigger than they let on at the beginning, and maybe they're holding that back because, you know, the 0-1 stuff, number one, is kind of newer, so they wouldn't have had everything as early.
Yeah.
But number two, maybe to try to keep people being like, okay, there was a ton of different form changes, there was a decent number of writers in it. I wonder who all they're bringing concept.
Yeah.
Like, maybe they're playing that degree. I have to also wonder if maybe the only reason that Axel and Berth got showed off now is a case of no one was expecting secondary writers to be in there. So it was a case of, it's like, oh yeah, you guys weren't guessing we were putting these guys in. Guess what? Yeah, we are.
And we're like 2-3 weeks from release, and then they're just like, oh yeah, this is in the game too. And I'm like, you fucking won over like everyone so much already on this game. Like, I even said it in like a post on Token Nation when someone was like, I wonder why why there's so less 0-1 stuff. And like this game is such a love letter to the fans of 2/3 of the shows here that I'm willing to give it a pass on it not representing 0-1 the best, because by God, it shows that if they could, they would.
Like, I'm not going out on the whole they're not gonna do 0-1 justice on this. I have a funny feeling all three are gonna have pretty decent importance in the overall story. The question's more gonna be how shoehorned in is 0-1 kind of deal.
Yeah.
And I feel like if that's the case, it's not a fault of the game, it's a fault of, you know, they tried to rush it.
Yeah. It's a fault of, we had to get this game out not long after the show ended, meaning we had to develop it alongside the show, so we're just kind of making this stuff up as we go. On a thing we already decided was these two things, and now we have to write around the fact we need to get a third writer in here. But I'm excited for this game. I can't wait. And just in case I didn't say it, Axel and Goto, or Axel and Berth, are not being reprised by their original actors again. Actually, Axel's being voiced by the guy who voiced One Punch Man. Which is kind of hilarious. Of just like, oh yeah, this is Saitama voicing Axel. But yeah, also, like, I'm not gonna lie, them teasing, like, oh yeah, Gold Extreme is in here, makes me go, you're not gonna sneak in the movie O's forms in here, are you? Just when we're all not looking. Because I'm like, well, we have Super Tatoba, we have Burakawani, and we also have Tamashi. Are you just gonna secretly put those in the game and just pretend it's just gonna surprise us by that? Especially Super Tato Bob, because, you know, the whole Foundation X thing with this game is just like that debuted in the Foundation X movie more or less with Mega Max. Like, you gonna drop that in there for us? So yeah, that's gonna be as soon as I literally get the game, the day of, we're streaming the fuck out of that game. I may or may not see if I could take off the next day, takes the next day off work even. Because I think I technically have vacation time. I think. Our scheduling thing says I have vacation time, I think. I don't think I can take a whole day off, but I could probably take like a half day off. Just be like, yeah, I'm taking off like after lunch. And just put in for it. Because, yeah, no, I want to go enjoy video game and stream video game, like... But yeah, that's pretty much my quick draw. Tommy, you don't have one, do you?
Nope.
Oh, okay. So, yeah. I'm wondering if Saber will get subbed tomorrow, because I'm curious on what the hell's going on with the Arthur form, because I think Saber talked to Arthur himself to get the form. So I'm curious if there's anything with that. Also, he apparently got the big book for his dragon upgrade in the fall. Or like a blank version of the book that I guess will get powered up over the course of the next couple months. So you can get that form in December. And apparently Caliper has one too, which I assume that one's going to Blades because he's getting also the exact same upgrade, except his version of it. But anything else?
Nope.
Alright, then tomorrow we're wrapping up Build Fighters. It's the last 5 episodes. We might go through it a little quick, so we stay on time-ish, and I'm not up too late. Since I have to go into work the next day. And by going to work, I mean walk back into the same room I do everything else in and deal with people for 8 hours. Maybe less, because I have to go take care of something on lunch that same day, so... That'll be fun. You doing anything Wednesday?
Possibly, but I don't know what yet.
Okay. Thursday, we're doing more Radiant Dawn. Maybe we can get through the rest of Part 3. Probably not. There's more defense chapters. Swear to God, this game throws one more, 40-minute defense chapter at me. I'm gonna fucking lose it. Oh, they're so boring with how I've got this set up. Friday, we're doing Crown Tundra DLC. And Saturday is Luigi's Mansion?
Yep.
Alright. And then we're back around to picking up where we left off on the original series. Oh, goody. I can't wait to be back to just
Yeah. Yeah. I feel like I don't know what's worse right now. That or Cyber.
Bit of both, probably.
They're both progressing at a snail's pace, and I'm not really a fan of that.
I'm not either, to be honest. I need this show to pick up, and I don't mean kill a character I like. That's negative gain. That's negative progress. We've lost the good point of the show. Don't kill Buster. Don't you dare kill Buster on me. Although that would explain why his Soto figure hasn't been revealed yet, even though he's been on the show for weeks now.
Yeah.
We technically got a spot. We're technically getting a spotted before we get Buster at this point.
Yeah, I can see that then.
But anywho, if you like what you've seen, drop a follow. Really appreciate it. Chipping away at that affiliate goal. At TGSnoodle on Twitter gets the updates when we go live. At exclamation link Discord and chat gets the Discord link. Drop by, say hi. We got Dropbox for questions. Give us questions. We'll answer them. And we'll see you tomorrow, folks.